Hi guys. Um, I've decided to do a video, and I'm going to do a few more in regards to this topic. It's about why I hunt the UP. I get this question asked a lot from people down here and all over, and I've been getting this question asked to me since we bought the cabin, or my dad bought the cabin up in the UP in 1989. Versus deer hunting down here in the southern part of the state. I will be the first to admit it's totally different hunting in the UP versus southern Michigan. Now, I've hunted deer in zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3. Michigan's split up in 3 different zones. And yes, hunting in southern Michigan is it's a lot better than the northern part of the state. I won't argue that one bit. They're farm fed, and it's different. I mean, the deer have all kinds of apples and corn and the beans. They have all different varieties to eat. Now, up where I'm at in the Upper Peninsula, like right now is the hardest time of the year for them, is getting through the last part of winter, and they're eating the pines, the bark, and there's nothing really for them to eat right now. So it's tough to make it through the winter up there. But I hunt up there not only because we have a cabin, but it's just being in the woods, the hardwoods. It's a lot different than down here, where you're coming home, you're going on hunting, you're coming home, you're going on hunting. Up there, you can set up camp. And camp life, for people that have never hunted it or never been to a deer camp before, it's hard to explain. It's just the camaraderie with everybody up there and the fun. That's part of the hunt. I can come in the house or the cabin with my muddy boots on, and everything will be all right. And I do that down home, then that's not all right. But it's totally a different atmosphere of southern Michigan, or than it's just hard to explain. But I've gotten people. Now, this is just my opinion. I've had people tell me that deer taste better from southern Michigan versus northern Michigan. And I'm not going to say yes, I'm not going to say no. To me personally, a deer is going to taste as good as you handle it. And what I mean by that is, after the shot, taking care of the guts and all that stuff, not getting anything on the meat, cleaning all that off. If I've seen guys gut deer up there and just leave the guts, some of it's still in it, or they'll get something on the meat and don't wipe it off. That right there in its nutshell, even if you do it in southern Michigan, is going to ruin your meat. It'll taste different. And how I like to age my meat. They say the longer it hangs, the better, and I found that true. I've shot deer all over the state of Michigan, and they all taste the same to me. That's just how I prepare it, from the time I've shot it, from the freezer to cooking it. So I'm not gonna say I'm right or wrong, but maybe the deer tastes better down home. However, if you don't do it the right way, it ain't gonna taste any different than a northern Michigan deer. So, and a lot of you hunters will agree with me that the first step is make sure you got it and get it cleaned, and get it in the right temperature. Because if it ain't in the right temperature, then it's gonna spoil, and you don't want that. And you also don't want the insides of the deer still in it. And if you happen to make a mistake, which I've had in the past, where I've hit the guts or the stomach and some of the green stuff got on the meat, as soon as I got back to the camp, I wiped it off, hosed it down, wiped it off, you know, and got it all out of there. And I've sometimes have cut that meat where that stuff was sitting on there. I just cut that meat right out. But, and then, you know, I get the question why I drive 400 miles to go deer hunting when I can walk right out the back door and go hunting. But to me, it's just the 2 weeks of rifle season, going up north and hanging out at camp is just as much fun, if not fun, as deer hunt. Funner than actually killing a deer. But you know, yeah, it's, you know, it's a long way to go. Now, I may have different opinions or different feelings for it if my dad didn't get that cabin. Now, before my dad bought that cabin, we used to hunt in Grayling off of 72 west of Grayling.
Grayling, not west of
By the
Grayling.
Wakely Bridge, or Waverly Bridge, I think it's called. We used to hunt over there. My dad used to rent cabins on the Asaba River, and that's where Whitetail Warriors actually started out in 1973, when my brother started hunting. My dad used to rent cabins over there on the Asaba River, right on the Asaba River. And by the time I got old enough to hunt, those people sold them cabins. So we rented a cabin in the same vicinity for 2 years, and then they sold. And then a fellow my dad knew had a cabin in Gaylord, and we stayed there 1 year and hunted out of Gaylord. And then the opportunity came along to buy the camp, the present camp that we have now. So I just enjoy going up there. And a lot of guys that have camps up there will probably say the same thing. It's all about deer camp. You know, it's, if you've never experienced a camp before, it's hard to explain. But for those of you that have experienced deer camp, I think you will agree that deer camp is just being there is part of the hunt. Now, like I said, when I first started the video out about with the hard winters and stuff, like right now the deer, they don't need no more snow up there. Like I just heard the Keweenaw had record snowfall this year. They had over 300 and some inches of snow. That's tough on the deer, you know. And then I've been seeing guys coming out with shed videos. I'd love to do that, but the deer up in the UP, they all migrate into the deer yards, and a lot of that's private property. So I can't really do that, but that'd be neat. But the deer don't hang out at my place. You know, anything that gets a substantial amount of snow, they head down to the yards down by Lake Michigan, down in there where there's less snow and more cedars. That's where they're living, in the cedar swamps right now, and that's where a lot of your kill comes. The wolves, they hang around them deer yards. But no, hunting is, you know, back when we first bought the cabin, hunting was just as good there as it was down here. And I know I'll get people saying, no, that's wrong, that's wrong. Well, I got logbooks to show that we were seeing all kinds of deer back in the early 90s, all the way out throughout the 90s. And then, you know, the 2000s hit, and then the DNR didn't want to admit that there was wolves. Then our deer sightings started going down and down and down. But we got too much time and too much money invested just to not go up there and hunt anymore. And I'm to the point now where, yes, it's nice to get a deer, but it's just nice to go up there and just hang out. And now I got my son and his buddies going. I'll be just as excited as for them to get a deer as to me to get a deer. But I mean, I try to tell people that, and they look at you like you're crazy. But it's just my opinion that a deer taste all depends on the person that's killed it, took care of it, all the way up to the time you eat it. That's just, you know, that's how I look at it. And you know, back when I first started hunting, I read a lot of deer hunting articles, and they said in there the most important thing is to get the guts out of there. and to do it right, you know, and wipe it down and hang it, age it, let the meat, you know. They say the longer you hang it, the better, and I've had a few butchers tell me that. So the longer it's hung, but I'm not saying UP deer tastes better than the Lower Peninsula deer, but the way I do it, the way I cook it, I've had them both, and I can't tell a difference. That's just me. Now somebody else could probably tell the difference, but that's never tasted UP deer before. But like I said, it's just all in the way you handle things, and that's one of the reasons I just love going up there. It's, you know, yeah, it is a long way, but just kicking back at deer camp with the wood stove going, and you know, no hustle and bustle of down home. It's just it's relaxing, time away from work, just sitting back and relaxing up at deer camp. Now this is the first video in this. I'm going to interview. I'm going to try to get 3 or 4 guys that have done the same as me, have hunted downstate here versus up in the UP, that have camps up there now that hunt up there. And then I'm going to interview a couple guys. I'm going to try to get them if they want to be on camera. I'm going to try to get a few guys that has hunted at my camp before that had success and see what their thinking is. But yes, there is low deer counts up there. It's not like it used to be. Back in the day, everybody, you talk to people from the 50s and the 60s and probably the whole 70s, that's where they always went, was to the UP to deer hunt. And there's a lot of old timers up there right now that got camps that they would tell you the good old days were back in the 60s and 70s up there. Everybody went to the UP, or everybody went to northern Michigan, the northern lower Michigan, south of the bridge. I can remember going up there my first, second year. I-75 going northbound was bumper to bumper for like 2 or 3 days before the opener. I mean, it was jam-packed cars going up there. And back in the day, before they built the Mackinac Bridge, they had a ferry system that ran back and forth. There was guys that they'd have to go 2 or 3 days ahead of time because they'd have to wait just to cross the ferry to get over to the UP. So the UP was a mega for hunting back in the day. They had a lot. They shot a lot of big bucks, a lot of deer come out of the upper. So, but no, this is just you know, I'm hoping to get out turkey hunting, but I got a lot of things going on right now. I got a lot of personal things going on right now that I don't know if I'm going to be able to have time to go turkey hunting. If I do go, it's going to be for the whole month of May license for private or public land. It'll be down here. But like I said, I got a lot of things in the bucket right now that I got to take care of. That's more important than going out hunting. I'll maybe down the road reveal what's going on, but I'd rather not say right now. But I got some personal things I got to take care of, and that's going to take my time for that. I am going up to camp the last weekend in April. I got a hold of Bowman Gas. They're going to come over and switch my lines around and give me a couple new lights. They're going to do that on the Friday, the 29th. But that's my next trip up there. Hopefully the snow I can get in there. No, that'll be it. I just thought I'd drop a video in and what I'm working on doing. Like I said, I'm going to interview some more people and try to have a mini series on this, why people hunt the UP versus the southern part of the state. So until then, we'll talk to you later.